Why does it do that?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Alright, so we got this Undead dungeon. That's the 5th that the
All right.
players need to get this MacGuffin for the centaurs to pass
Let me
their
just give
test.
you, pretty much give you a quick summary of the whole story. It's like we play long campaigns, long campaigns.
Okay.
I'm the newest DM.
You're the newest DM, but you're playing.
I'm the new DM.
Okay, but this is your campaign. You're not like picking it up from someone, right?
Oh
Okay,
no, no,
all right.
no, no. I'm this is my first time doing DMing.
It's like this is everything that the past DM
Oh
did.
God,
So
no.
see if you can write the way he did.
Oh no, no, no. No. This is a campaign that I thought of long ago when I first started playing the one. I did one game. I was like, I want a DM. I gotta do this, even though that was my first game ever playing D&D. Pretty much, what has happened? Their war broke out. It was pretty much slave versus their master, because long ago, a time of stone was feared. Druids were were making these stone-like colors that were controlling people, and a lot of crazy stuff happened. Lots of people were fighting, and then you know how orcs are. They're like, "Oh, look at this! All these races, they're fighting each other, and people are dying.
Isn't that kind of
Armies are weak."
racist, dinosaur?
Not
You know
really.
how orcs are.
I'm sorry. Well, it's true. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. They show themselves like that, but all in all.
Alright, go ahead.
So they're like, oh, armies are weakened, villages have already been pillaged, and we already did our work. Our job is to now just kind of clean up everything else and kind of take over.
Okay.
So obviously, this is now another pretty much from one frying pan into another bigger frying pan. This one is kind of set on fire with gasoline, kind of deal. And pretty much, armies that have been enemies for years are like, okay, we gotta stop these guys, da 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 da. Summarize them as fast as I can.
Okay, so basically the big war comes out. Slaves
Yes.
versus masters, and the orcs are like, "Oh, we want in on this now," and they like start taking over stuff. And then everybody's starting to realize they're like, "Oh, okay, we need to band together to fight back this thing."
Exactly.
Okay.
And pretty much elves, drows, people you would never see fight next to each other without a fence between them, all that. Were fighting. And one race wasn't fighting. It was the centaurs. And one day we're there, then the next day they're gone. They're like, ah, shit, where the fuck they go? Oh my god. So they sent out, they paid assassins, they paid mercenaries, they paid anybody who can track worthwhile. And they all turn out either missing, or they never find them.
Okay.
So, humble of foot, because, I knew these guys for a long time, and, our characters have little hooks here and there together, so they know each other quite greatly. So I have an NPC, an evil centaur by the name of Nessus. Yes, I know it's named, I didn't know he was named after one of the 9th level of hell. I figured that out by myself, that's why people were laughing so hard the first day I was playing. But, Nessus is a ranger centaur, very evil, not very sociable, wanna eat your face off, So obviously,
this is already sounding like a great campaign when one of the characters is chaotic evil.
Oh yeah,
and the rest aren't.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, it's a mixture of goods and chaotic evils.
Yeah, that's
and 3 of them are related. Actually, 4, I think. Continuing.
Yeah.
We have a person who's been playing D&D the day it actually was invented and came out. He's a wise man. You can never trip him up. He knows the tricks in the books. He's been playing since then. He's amazing. But he has a character. That's kind of how I introduced the game. All in all, band the party together through a random awesome series. Nessus pretty much said, okay, I don't want to see my family. I don't like my family. So, I'm so badly injured. Why don't you go and just say, hey, kind of offer something, just get out of my house. So, party leaves. They find them. But all behold, their leader was like, oh no, 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 no. I don't trust you. I don't like you. So, to be more of a dick, I'm gonna let you go through rite of passage, which I forgot to spell passage. I was like, truth. Done.
Okay.
So, he
So,
said,
question right off the bat: why do they need the centaurs? Or are they just really, really curious as to why they aren't fighting?
because during this battle of slavery of every race and masters, which was druids, drows,
Okay.
all these people who were, they never, not one centaur was caught during that. So their army is the strongest. Their army has the best numbers. They're pretty much
Okay.
the only army that's left out that can actually fight, beat the living crap out of people.
Okay.
So that's why they're so needed.
All right.
And so, pretty much, the leader says, I don't trust you people. Elves enslaved us, dwarves slaughtered us, humans enslaved us, which is pretty much a mixture of all those races in that one party. I don't trust any of the races. This is pretty much a revenge, a punishment for all of you for enslaving our people, for killing our people and lowering our numbers in the past many years of our ancestors. We give nothing but peace and, all that, blah, 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 blah. So he says, I don't trust any of you, so you're going to go through the rite of passage to gain all the trust of all of us. Just to prove yourselves to us that we can trust you.
Okay.
Show us. So he said, our ancestors made these temples of elements. Because in this centaur bunch, you got your normal top male herd leader. Then you got a land leader, which if the herd leaders are mad, they go to the land leader. Then if the land leader's mad, they go to the top boss, which is the big guy right there, up top, tippy top of that hill.
Okay.
So, pretty much, the land leaders had temples. They all represent an element. Water, fire, earth, wind, darkness, mountains, and caves. 7. As for mountains and caves, it's pretty much six medallions, because I want to be nice and fair. I just kind of said, for the mountain medallion, they pretty much broke it in half, saying, cave you have one side, mountains you have the other. Go. Yeah, they pretty much broke that one and separated the two. So they are now heading to this dark temple after getting the key to go inside the dark temple. So I've been thinking of many. I'm very good with riddles, and I am a jerk when it comes to riddles. I've tricked many people with my little riddles, but I need something more. I'm sick and tired of doing riddles. I need puzzles. I need monsters. That would.
All right. So here's another thing that you need to focus on: is why are the centaurs averse to stopping something that's obviously a danger to them as well? Do they just not feel threatened of it at all for some reason?
They do not feel threatened. It's kind of like how I put it in a way. It's I kind of made a good example with the whole World War II and America. America didn't get involved because Germany didn't mess with them until that one little poke, and then they got in. So, hold on, sorry, I have kids here.
It's fine. Them chaotic evils.
Yep.
Okay. Well, horses were easy to edit.
Oh god, get lost in this city.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
I have 7-year-old. Yeah, 7-year-old being herself. Alright. Okay, so they don't feel threatened. They know they can overpower orcs. They know. They've done it before, they can do it again.
Okay.
They know they can do it. They know that they're needed. That's what they're using to keep using as a little revenge point.
See, this is kind of quizzical to me, though, because, if the centaurs aren't at all concerned about them, then why are the allied races so concerned about them? Because, obviously, the centaurs got out of it, but are the centaurs so completely numerous after their years of slavery and...
Oh, hold on. I got kids need me. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's alright. I actually should probably just drop that because, just get more into the actual dungeon making.
Yeah.
Just me and me and stories and making sure that they're straight.
Them stories.
How does nobody know that Bruce Wayne is in Paris? Or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Bill Gates of the world. Bill Gates famous. It's like,
I mean, he's at least E-famous, right?
E-famous. Internet famous.
E-famous.
The hell? There's a floating rock in this guy? How do you get up there? To use a jump spell, I guess, or whatever, or flying spell?
You get up there, I never know. Oh, the giant rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's basically well, you'll find out about it. It's
Okay, here we go.
fucking
Restore
cool,
health. Yes. Finally found that healing spell. Mother's Kiss and Hearth Heal.
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I'll
Okay.
tell you what. I was thinking about it, and I was like, we should really actually more focus on the dungeon. Like, it's just me trying to get like tight stories together and everything.
Well, no, it's fine. I prefer these questions being asked so you don't get confused in the future. Okay, what was the question again?
It was about fuck, what was it?
Okay.
Oh yeah, it was why is like why are the allied races so scared of the orcs if the centaurs aren't? Like, are the centaurs so numerous that they outnumber the other races allied together? I mean, they've also, supposedly from the centaurs' point of view, been in slavery and been killed as part of it during, like, however long they've been enslaved. So, like, they're so numerous of people, like, why is it such an issue for the allied races? Like, why do they need the centaurs?
Because, I'm thinking of, like, this was, like, in the past, long ago, like, like how I compare, like, when the first black person was discovered, white people, all usual, don't get into that conversation, but this is, like, in the past, or the ancestors before that all happened. And,
Okay.
a lot of the party members have questioned, like, well, what about the others? This is, like, this is one man saying all this, but what about the others? That's when I introduced a NPC that was a land leader, and she said, I want to go in war. We all want to go in war, but we can't
Because he's
overrule our leader. We can't overrule our top man. We can't. Whatever he says, it goes. We can't do anything else. Once ruled, we can't.
Okay.
So there's people who want to fight, and then you got the ones who say, oh, he's smart. This is a good idea. We should have hidden. This is a good idea to get our revenge from all that all that bullcrap. They've never said sorry for the past years. All that.
All right, so I'm still kind of confused, like, why they wouldn't feel threatened. Because, like he says, we're not threatened by them, but at the same time, like, why would they not be threatened, but the allied forces be? But maybe that's just his opinion or something.
It's just his opinion.
Okay, but
and that's what I wanted to gain from them, because when I make them think about that, and they say, well, how come? Because they're gonna.
Right.
And the leader is his name is Draconis Black. He's a leader. He wants to say a lot of things to him. So I want him to I want everyone to have their opinion on this, and because they're gonna come back and say a few horrible things to him.
Okay.
After all this.
All right, so they're on this quest to get these 5 things, and they've already gotten the other 4 or whatever. So this is the last temple. Why is this place guarded?
It's guarded because here's an example why there's because sometimes either something sneaks in and makes a home there. It's half. There's either going to be random undead that just live there, and there's going to be things that were placed there.
Okay.
So, like, a good example, it was the water temple that I made. There was no one there except for a water monk, and he said, since you guys are here for the rite of passage, I'm supposed to give you rules in this temple. Like, they have to pass a series of rules, and each temple has a way of running things. Okay. Water, he'll say.
So, question, like, why... So they have these temples with their MacGuffin, but they're not guarded in any way other than monsters coming in and out of them?
There's guards.
Okay.
Either like some temples have guards, some temples they don't. Some temples prefer the monsters living in there, as long as the object, like the medallion, is protected and safe. They know no one's gonna dare go in there.
Okay, so who put the undead there?
Usually, if once they get there, they're probably gonna meet a couple, probably a shaman. I'm still kind of planning this out a little bit here
Okay,
and
but
there.
there will be someone there that has placed the undead there, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
or has been there to see it happen, or everyone has died out, and it's gonna be like pieces here and there. It's gonna
All
tell
right.
the story. Of the
So
temple.
is it? So the thing isn't so much that it's a dark temple, but it's like a place that's guarded by undead who were put there in order to protect the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, what level are we talking about here, and what system?
These guys are around level 10 right now.
And what system?
I'm not really good at the system thing. What is that?
The is it like 4th edition? Is it Pathfinder? Is it
3 point. It's D&D 3.5.
Okay, 3.5. All right. So, how big are you looking at making this dungeon?
I want it to be big, but not too big where it'll be like, oh, a couple weeks, dear God, we're still in this type of deal.
How okay, so you don't want it in there for like quite a bit of time. You kind of want to get in and out of it. Okay. How long are your sessions usually?
The sessions start at 6, they end at, hold on, around 10 or 11. Our sessions are a little long sometimes.
10 or 11. Okay. So about 5 hours, give or take, is what your
Yes.
time frame is. And then I'm guessing there's going to be a short, like 10-minute break at some point in there.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
if like no one really feels like taking a break, we just keep going.
So what do you think, Swiftness? 4.5 hours in order to run a campaign? Maybe 30 minutes an encounter, give or take? You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so your time budgeting. So we'll give you like some leeway also. Maybe it takes them longer or whatever. So you have about between 7 and 8 encounters, give or take.
Yeah.
So you're going to need 7 or 8 encounters that a group of... Sorry, how? What level?
They're all level 10s.
Level 10s, okay.
How many of them are there?
Oh God.
How many of them are there that usually show up to a session?
Yeah, I'm gonna get that because we have a big group. So let me see. I need a piece of paper so I don't forget people. All right. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 rangers. I know that. Fighter mage, sorcerer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 barbarians. A cleric. I can't do any of this magic because
Wait. Okay, we got 3 rangers. And then what?
We have 3 rangers.
Okay.
Fighter mage.
Fighter
sorcerer.
slash mage? Like he's dual class?
Yeah.
Okay, fighter mage.
slash-
Got it.
A sorcerer.
All right.
2 barbarians.
Okay.
A cleric.
Okay.
Let's see. A rogue.
Okay.
And do you know what a slime child is?
No.
It's okay. You know slimes, right?
Yeah. Talking about like a... What are they called?
It's
A
like
Swiftness
they're
Ooze Lord or something?
like
what I was
it's
wondering.
kind of like, okay, think of a
Like a-
slime that took a form of a human, but kept all the slime. He doesn't really give you the facial features of a human. It just has a
Okay, that's
personality.
different.
My boyfriend plays that, and it's pretty much a slime that takes the shape of a person
Hello,
and
Dara.
just has a personality. And they're smart too, apparently.
Okay, so... That is a very big party.
That is huge. How many people was it all together?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, I
Holy
guess.
shit. So that's like gotta be those sessions must take longer than or the encounters must take longer than half an hour because you had to find out what 10 different people want to do.
Oh no, because when it comes to battling, they freak the crap out of my monsters.
The
I
problem... Yeah, the thing is, Swiftness, you gotta remember that like the CRs are based on a 4 or 5 man group. So throwing an
Yeah.
at CR monster at them is like a joke, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm good at multitasking because I always have people doing.
No, I get that. I was just saying I would think it would take a long time because you have to ask 10 people what they each are doing. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
we
they
roll
weren't
pretty
gonna
smooth.
survive. They aren't gonna survive the first round of combat.
So they're all experienced. Tommy, which is the most experienced first edition he's ever played, first and then fourth.
Okay.
Now, we all hate fourth edition. Sorry, we don't agree with it as much.
All right. So let's
yeah.
see. Are you familiar with Don John, the site, or Don Juan?
No, I'm not.
All right. I will go ahead and link you that. Just as a utility that you can use if you have problems like actually making up the dungeon maps or whatever. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the dungeon map thing was really confusing. I really did not know. There wasn't really like a tutorial or anything to show how to download it. I was like, oh no, so
Oh,
many
for what? The map tools?
map tool. I was like,
Oh, okay.
oh no,
I could
there's
figure.
so many links and I can't figure it. I'm really retarded with computers. This is when I get my
Right. At
computer
some point,
tech boyfriend to do it.
at another point, I can help you out with that. But for now, we'll go
Awesome.
ahead and focus on this. If you
Damn it.
this link, which I'm going to put inside the stream chat,
Yeah.
that has a ton of fantasy tools that you can use if you're looking for random generation of certain things. Like I have it up on the stream as well. You could do like random dungeon generator if you were so inclined.
Mhm.
And I don't use it necessarily for the encounters, but it can give you a general dungeon layout and of a certain size, you know. Gives you a lot of options.
Oh yeah. One thing.
Okay?
We're kind of poor people in a way. We don't do tabletop.
That's
we don't
fine.
even, we just sit around and I say it and they just do it.
Yeah,
And they're-
that's fine. But you can still use
they're
this to be able to like
imagination.
you can still use this to like print out a dungeon map or whatever, or just use it as a reference. Like you can pull out some graph paper and use it. So if you ever have trouble like making a dungeon, like the actual size or like pathways or whatever, that's a good generator for that.
Okay.
If you okay, so the things is you need puzzles and you need interesting encounters.
Yes,
for this place.
interesting encounter because dealing with you're
Okay.
dealing with dead people, so
Is
there's
it-
many of them.
Is it
Huh?
so? It's a temple, so it's actually like a building. It's not like a cave or something.
Yeah, it's nothing. This is a temple that's been built. It took
Okay,
many
where
years.
is this temple at?
Well, we never really we never really grab a world and make it up, saying, "Oh, this is the giant map
no,
of
well,
the whole world."
I meant
No.
like where is it? Like is it in the middle of a forest? Is it
It-
on a mountain? Is it in a mountain? You know.
It is gonna be deep within a moggy, thick, undead-filled forest. The usual when you're walking through the lands of dead and all that crap, all that bull crap to deal with
God.
to get to the temple. The usual. It's gonna be really well hidden in a deep, foggy forest, pretty much.
Okay. So deep foggy forest. All right. Are you going to have
Past couple
encounters?
pickups.
Are you going to have some encounters leading up to the crypt, which is an option as well?
Yeah, very few, because I want them at least to get to the temple, and get this, because they've been playing this campaign for a long time, and they've had great amount of fun.
Gotcha.
So I kind of want to get this game
Yeah, you want to
get this
kind of
temple done.
you want to expedite it a little bit. Okay, so what's
Yeah, I
the
want to
theme
get
of the
this-
temple?
The theme of the temple was obviously, like, I'm thinking, because if you're thinking of death,
Well, rather you're doing a dead theme, but what's the what's the MacGuffin's theme? You mentioned that
Yeah.
they're all based on elements or whatever.
yes, and this one, if you think of death, you think you have to risk something, tricks, puzzles, because when I think of a death, I think of the Reaper. Well, usually when a Reaper takes a soul, he says, "I'll give you a bargain," or "How about we play a game?" The usual death theme you get usually is tricks, puzzles,
Yeah,
illusions.
risk and reward.
Yes.
But I meant you mentioned that like each of these temples holds the medallion or whatever it is, but it's based on like an elemental type of property. Like what's stored in there? Like what does this medallion represent?
The medallion obviously is gonna represent evil deities, darkness, because usually
So it's going to represent darkness
yeah,
and evil.
yes, pretty much.
Okay.
That's the gist. Because you have the light and you have the darkness and then the elements.
Okay.
Hey, Will, how do you get rid of like a strength and endurance type drain thing? Do you just
Go
have
to
to
a
wait it
temple.
out? Damn
Go to a
it.
temple, heal it. Or you
Okay.
get a spell that does restore.
Yeah.
Right. So we have undead, we have risk and reward, we have darkness and evil. Okay. So right off the bat, because of how this dungeon is set, I almost feel like you should do a set piece style, where you think of a room and then populate it with
Mm-hmm.
monsters rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Um, a solid idea with that really is playing with the idea of darkness.
Yeah.
This is something that's very tricky to do, depending
What
on
are
what
those
your
darkness?
depending on what your group's races are or what they have access to.
I can tell you the races if you like.
Do any of them have dark vision?
No, let's not
No.
bring race into this. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
The darkness is
not at all.
racist. Okay, so none of them have. Okay, so that's good.
No.
So
uh,
if we base this on darkness, then we really want to have monsters, first of all, that are going to have dark vision. Because we want to push that they have a type of advantage coming into this cave. Another thing that you can do is you can limit light. Don't completely like screw them over on light all the time, but make it a dark place, you know?
yeah.
And perhaps an idea for a set piece, you could have maybe a room that has deeper darkness or something. Something that they can't see through easily.
Or just put monsters that can cast it.
Yeah, you could go. Well, I was thinking like a room that has like permanency, deeper darkness. So the sorcerer could use dispel magic and dispel it for some time if they really needed to, but it's going to come back
Oh yeah.
because it's permanence. So like,
Unless if you ended up dispelling the permanency spell too.
yeah, that's real hard.
Yeah.
It's real
Yeah,
hard
it's
to
pretty
get rid
high
of
level.
permanence. But that's the idea. Is like maybe you have one set piece where you have like a large room. And I mentioned like the labyrinth idea. Maybe you put a mini labyrinth in there that's cloaked in darkness. So they are just seriously in the dark and they have no idea where to go. So they'll have to get kind of clever with how to tackle that. And then maybe you
Yeah.
can put like a couple roaming monsters in there.
Oh yeah,
to
like a
give them,
maze in a way kind of deal.
yeah. Just don't make it too big because again, if you're gonna make this in the dark, then they're already gonna have some issue navigating it. Especially if you don't have like a map that they can move around on. This also makes it difficult for them to make a map. Like you can say, because of this darkness, unless you have a way to work it out, you're not going to be able to see the map you make. So they're going to have to kind of get clever with that and pay attention to
yeah.
how they move.
And they get really smart. Like I'm amazed how because they're experienced players,
Okay.
extremely experienced.
For those of you just joining in or whatever, I'm talking with Dino, and she's talking me over a dungeon that she's been planning. And I'm giving her some ideas on how she might tackle it, add some things into it. We were originally planning to do Fauneros later tonight, but it looks like one of the players isn't going to be able to make it tonight, so
Ah, son of
I might run a solo session with Swiftness just to finish up what he's doing, but it will be very short. It'll basically just get him to the Molagona Fey Court, where he will encounter whatever it is he's going to encounter. I don't want to give away too much.
Yes.
You're gonna have something pretty sweet. All the questions that you have, Swift, you might get some answers.
Yay,
I'll put it that way.
answers.
All right, so back to what we were saying. So like that's an idea
What
for one of
fast food questions?
Yeah.
that's an
That
idea
sounds
for a
like a
set
good
piece
idea.
that's like part puzzle, because like they need to figure out a way to get through this labyrinth. But it's not a puzzle in the traditional sense, where it's
Yeah.
like moving around blocks or whatever.
I actually had an idea to use to actually get inside. I actually got an idea from like this guy creates like dungeons like realistic. He creates like the little maps and everything, and he's really good. Like he made this where like a object with these gems. There'd be 3 different color gems, and the key would change different colors. Like if you were to touch red, it would turn it clear.
So a very Kubert
if-
style type of thing.
Yeah, it's
Kinda.
kind of like I have it written down somewhere. Like I was gonna
Like when
use
you
it 'cause
touch
it-
one gem, it like changes the colors of all the gems around it, and then they all
Yeah,
start as a
like
different
it was like
color
that,
type of
and or
thing.
like if you use like one of the rules if I remember, like if you touch a blue gem, it would change it clear, and any gem that's adjacent to it would change as well
Gotcha.
to a blue.
And then you're trying to get all the same or make a design.
Yeah,
One of
and
those basic puzzles.
it'll be written in Draconic, and it would say thrice something, and if they change, it's giving you a hint of
So
what
it'd
color
give
you're
you.
trying to.
So it's like a
for.
puzzle that gives you a clue for something else.
Yeah, because like
Okay.
it's like they pretty much the way to open up is if you get all the gems the same color, but if they get it to red, they'll get a bonus to something, or all that.
Okay.
But if they change it to blue and green, they won't get it, but the door will open still.
All right. So we got this darkness labyrinth that we can stick as one of the encounters. That is actually probably going to take a sizable amount of time to get through, just because they might get fast, maybe they'll think of something clever, but it's going to be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
The other thing is they do have access to a very high level sorcerer, and you need to keep that in mind, and a cleric.
Mm-hmm.
So they could potentially use a lot of magic in order to get through this maze, but that's going to be magic that they no longer have.
Yeah, I kind of did something evil to the cleric. He was warned by a very powerful man. He said, "Do not use any good magic in this area, or curses be thou, you're probably gonna be ripped to shreds." And he's like, "Oh, psh," and he tried it, and he almost got his ass kicked. So he's like, he's afraid to use his good magic now. I'm like, what have I done?
All right, so what else do we got here? So again, let's see. What else do we think of when we think of the darkness theme? We already think of this deprivation of light, which is a difficult thing for a party to take if they don't have access to dark vision. I mentioned this in my Cults and Cauldrons, how the DM in that kind of... I felt like he didn't really think out the encounter as best as she should have. So you have to be really careful about that, about how you adjudicate stuff in the darkness. So they get past this labyrinth. What else can we do as far as it? So the question is like, do we want to make light a kind of a theme in there as well? The ability to light up the darkness, or do we really want to press darkness as just its own independent theme?
Like, the light thing will be good. It can either be a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe a monster that holds a very creepy monster holds a lantern. They may want to stray from that lightness and go within the dark more, or probably it's like a safe zone where they can rest and be safe from just heal up and everything.
Another
They'll
option.
exploit the safe zone.
Another option that I was talking over with a friend. We were talking about game design. And I was thinking about a mechanic maybe where you could maybe augment the monsters in a customized way, where perhaps they are extra powerful in the darkness, or maybe they feed off of light if they have light. Another option is to make light almost a resource inside of this place. Like perhaps there are abilities that a certain monster uses that become weakened when they enter light. Like maybe it has some sort of fireball or something.
Yeah.
But if it hits light, it becomes less effective. So light becomes this very valuable resource to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's another option. Something else you could do is maybe you have some sort of customized plant monster where maybe when light comes up, it just starts exploding with growth. Basically, because it's been deprived of light this whole time, it just kind of like gravitates toward it and tries to steal it away.
Huh. You helped me, Mama. Oh God. We have fun. We have like joke around. We love to joke around like that sometimes. Yeah, actually sounds like a really good. I've never thought of that because I don't really think of plant life in a dark temple because usually people think dead.
Yep.
Mushrooms.
That's the other thing too. So if you wanted to, you could also populate a room with some sort of like bioluminescent mushrooms. That's another option.
I've done that, and let's just say we had a little mishap with that.
You could also take
was
some.
Tripping on shrooms. Just kidding.
Another thing is you could try. I suppose another thing, and I just thought of this, is maybe if you could find some way to stick water in it. I mean, if you've ever seen many of the very deep sea creatures, a lot of them are very monster-esque.
Oh yes, like in the water temple, there
okay, we already used this up.
Yeah.
We used up that thing.
I used the angular fish because when I think of like something dark and luminous and creepy, I think of angular fish. And our sorcerer kind of flipped the switch, fell down into the jail. It's like, oh, there's a light. Run towards it. Oh no! Oh my God.
Oh,
All
shit.
right, so we already used up that one, so we won't do that. Um, that's another thing too to keep in mind for everybody watching is if you already use up something in a dungeon, try not to gravitate towards it again, especially if it's something that's supposed to create like a unique experience for the PCs.
Yeah.
All right, so what we do have though is we have this labyrinth. We have an idea of maybe like there's like a plant monster that spurs into life, or an idea of maybe some customized monsters that grow stronger or weaker based on the light. And you could even make a duality out of that. Maybe you make a two-chambered room where both things happen.
Mm.
Um, perhaps you
Shit, this person's dead.
create. You could also maybe do a variant where you make the creature actually easier for the players to fight. Perhaps you make like there's the shadow monster. Maybe you make a light shadow monster almost, so that it's more of an easy encounter.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of make the players feel more powerful. But the idea that like, um, instead of there being this shadow that's invisible in this dark place, instead it's this radiant light outline, and it might make them think about what they want to do exactly regarding that type of a monster as well.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else can we think of? Puzzles are going to really rely on light, I think, is going to be
Yeah.
one of the key central
Probably like
points
the whole
of it.
mirror, like how you put like a laser and mirror type of deal, but instead like a crack in the wall with a light source.
Very Soul Reaver-esque.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's fine. Not a lot of people have played Soul Reaver, so you could probably play with that. What else?
I would love to put like some traps, because when they can't see, they're gonna be constantly paranoid in a way. So there's gonna be that one mess up when someone's gonna be stepping on that button, then that giant boulder comes rolling in.
Another
Yeah.
option, maybe you could get a sequence of rooms where they cycle between light and dark. And the thing is you always want to be in the light rooms, because whenever you're in the dark rooms, something bad happens. So that's like a type of puzzle as well. Like they'll have to memorize what rooms turn light at what times.
Oh, that would be really good.
And that'll kind of be like, you don't want to be alone in the dark type of thing.
Like what I mean by like when I want them out of the temple, I don't mean like by today. I meant like, I don't want them like forever
Right.
in there for a
Right.
long time.
And I'm just tossing ideas at you. You could use, part of this. You could use all of it, Durable
Oh,
says
yeah.
you could separate the group and have smaller encounters with half the group. That's always kind of a dangerous proposition, because the
Never
number
separate
one...
the group.
Yeah, the number one rule for adventures is never split the party when you think there's going to be trouble.
Oh yeah, but
the-
they've done it before
Yeah.
because we have 10 people.
Yeah. The other issue is because you have such large groups, if you split them up, it can be difficult to adjudicate things across large distances without the players metagaming, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird because like 10 people is such a large group.
Yes. It is.
I've actually just on a side note, have you ever considered running a second DM, just so that you can adjudicate like things a little bit quicker?
Like I said, I actually don't mind it. Actually,
Okay.
the more the better, because
That's
I
fine.
can multitask with beautiful grace, and they've all had even amount of fun. I mean, I don't have that shining star in the group. I give every 10 people a shining moment in the game. Make them feel special, make them feel unique.
Yeah.
Have that shiny moment, everyone, because we had people long ago in games where there's always that shining star, and then you got the people in the background. Well, I don't do that. I keep everyone. I give everyone the same XP, so no one's over leveling, no one's above everyone. They're all the same. Makes it fair.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe spores that freeze half the party. There's actually a mold.
Done that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I've done the spore thing.
Yeah, Durable was mentioning that.
The caves.
Yeah, there's actually a mold. I think it's yellow mold or something, where it actually gravitates towards heat, and it steals heat from things and freezes the party.
Oh yeah, like the whole spore thing. I was playing Last of Us, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be creative in cave. I'm just like, I'm gonna put some Last of Us monsters in there. They won't know.
So the idea too is you also have an option of whether you want to make light safe or you want to make it dangerous is the thing. it seems like we're more pushing it towards light as a safe thing. If you wanted to
Yeah.
change it up, another option would be to be like, there's like a monster that's, driven towards light or something. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, and that can be that gives like I think I give more of a unique
Silent Hill
experience.
nurses.
They feel safe
Yeah.
in the light. Then that one day they're like, oh god, light bad maybe.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is like perhaps there's another creature in there that is in the same predicament almost.
Yeah.
Like they are trying to find their way in this dark place. Like they just kind of like wandered in here or something. Or it gets placed in here and doesn't know its way out. So like it's looking for light as well, but it's also looking for dinner.
Yeah.
I am
So
getting
I
frustrated
create a
in
lot
this
of my
game.
monsters because the group is so experienced. They memorize their monsters. I thrown dragons at them. Oh my god, Tommy, it was a good dragon, and he said this. All right, kill me then. I'm like no, no. And then,
Did you have the
so
dragon circle strafe them?
when
You
the
know that's
dragon
how you play a
killed,
dragon, right?
yeah, when the dragon killed him, he got revived because it was a good dragon that did an evil deed, thus killing the dragon. Oh, I was not. I was like They know their monsters, so I got to the point saying, I'm gonna have
Well,
to create some monsters in my
that's
head.
see, I don't like that. I've mentioned this before on a highlight. I say stop. It was like, God, what did I
Sounds
say?
like super
It was
metagaming.
like don't. It was like just stop looking at the DM shit. I think is what it was called. And it's basically when you have that much information on something, it causes a lot of metagaming.
Yeah, why would your character know that? Like, why would the character know that?
So
Well,
like
because
another
the thing,
option,
yeah.
another
Sorry.
option is to just straight up, yeah, give them a
Roll
monster they know,
Make
and
them
then
roll a check,
completely.
knowledge check to see if they know that. Your character
Oh yeah, the
doesn't
thing
know
is,
that, so you're acting
like I
not
said,
accordingly.
our our characters have clicks because we've been playing games together, and you know, Tommy's character, he's been playing that character for about fucking I think 50 years. That is an old character he has had, and all the clicks he's made, all his knowledge, and I guess I'm not mean. I'm a very very cuddly nice person, and I really don't mean to be evil ever mean. So this is my first time, so I'm very lenient with rules because this is my first game.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm trying to be as nice as possible, even though I'm trying to be stern as well. But I'm nice. I really don't care if he knows. It's the fact that I'm just gonna try
Well,
harder
here's the
next
thing.
time.
Don't. But here's the thing. Like because he has such an advantage on experience, it's not going to work. Like it's just not going to work. So one of the ways that I've combated this in the past, this idea of knowledge that you might not have, is just change the monster.
Yeah.
Give them a monster that they know a lot about, and change the rules on them.
Go
And if they fail their knowledge check, or if they don't make it, they won't know what changed. An example of this, kind of a light example, is in Foneros. I had a forest drake that was attacking the town. And they knew all of the forest drake's abilities, but this was a very unique forest drake. Because the idea was I wanted to make this like more of a boss encounter, but partially also just in case they decided to look it up or whatever, like it would be kind of difficult. So I added kind of a catch, and it was in the backstory of this drake. The drake only took half damage from normal weapons. The only thing that could deal normal damage to it was silver because it had a silver allergy. So I've already so it basically made the monster more difficult, but at the same time it gives it character and it does something that it wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Think about the gold dragon example. What if this gold dragon just didn't give a fuck about being good or evil? What if he had no duality of it? What if he,
Yeah.
any type of thing? Like the idea that they can metagame a dragon out of their life is not something that you want to experience, essentially. Now, if you base that on it, like if you tell them that that's how it works, then you either need to make an exception out of it or you need to like follow your own rules, essentially. Don't change it just because. But the minute that my players decide to like look something up, I am not averse at all to just completely changing the rules, even on the spot. Like if they feel like they know everything about this monster without making a knowledge check, I will literally change its stat block on the fly just to punish them for it. And that sounds like a dick thing to do, but I would say it's an equally dick thing to do to look up monsters and to use
Oh
prior
yeah.
knowledge on them in order to combat them. But we're getting a
Yeah.
little bit off topic. We're getting
No,
off
no, it's
topic
good.
though. That was just something that I wanted to address with the stream as well.
Yeah, I have done that before. Like, Tommy hates his favorite enemies are Dro, which he can't. He won't stand. He won't. 5 seconds that Dro will be dead. He can't. He won't talk to them. He won't look at them. But I throw those in there just to be an ass today. But he hates black dragons. So,
Why they gotta be
It's
black?
racist. Bans
well,
black
he
Just
hates
cows and
black.
black
He,
Drace.
he
dragons.
hates black. His favorite enemy is a black dragon. So, and the sorcerer got a dragon egg, and it hatched. It was a black dragon, but it was white. So he was like, "Keep that thing away from me!" But it was white.
So
He's
it's
like,
an
check
albino
the
black.
alignment. He's like, check that alignment. He's like, yeah, you can't determine a dragon's because people. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's a baby black dragon. It's evil." Well, no, it's like
That goes to philosophy, you know, like
exactly.
it's
I believe that you don't become evil unless you're raised evil or you do something.
well,
You
that's the thing
make yourself
is
evil.
Spoonie at the SpoonieExperiment.com actually does he actually did a thing on this called the prisoner dilemma, and it's actually a really good watch if you guys haven't heard of it or heard of the situation. And basically, like you find to kind of summarize the part of the argument that's relevant. They go like, "Oh, you find orc babies." It's like, "Okay, well, we kill them." I'm not killing babies. It's like, "But they're evil." And then he
No.
goes, "Well, no they aren't because they were raised evil." And then, the guy inevitably grabs the monster manual and he goes, "No, they're fucking evil. Look, it says in the guide, all orcs are chaotic evil. That's just the way it is." This is earlier versions of the game,
Deal with it.
obviously. And so he goes, then you get into the Jungian argument of nature versus nurture, and it just spirals down from there. So it's really depending on how you want to take it. Some players like the idea of, that the vast majority of monsters are just kind of born into that. And you can say like, oh, well, it's nature versus nurture. That's actually not true entirely for D&D, because there are people that will argue, they'll be like, there's no such thing as good and evil, like as in opposed to a D&D game. Hold on, let me go full screen for this. And Spoonie explains this as well. So these aren't exactly my words. It goes, to all you
Yeah.
people that think that alignment doesn't exist in D&D, you're just fucking wrong. There is a campaign called Planescape where every alignment is associated with a plane. And this happens regardless of that. All the planes are separated by a certain alignment on the outer planes. Like, Mount Olympus, Elysia. These places are specifically aligned, and that's where you go when you die based on your alignment. And everyone is like there. Devils and demons are personifications of their form of evil. So if you find a devil baby, he's fucking evil. If you find
It's
a demon baby, he's fucking evil. There's no way around it. That is literally what it is. They are a personification of evil. They are born evil. They will continue to be evil. You cannot have good devils and demons. It literally will kill them. They are
Yeah.
physically incapable of doing it.
Yeah. Like, but
But that was saying very specifically, like for, the argument always gets made, oh, alignments don't exist. Yes, they fucking do. They exist in D&D whether you like to or not. You can make your debates for your characters all you want, but in the end,
Yeah.
there's still the Nine Hells, there's still the Abyss, there's still Mount
DM
Olympus.
always wins.
Well, it's not just the DM also, it's like all of the mythos of Dungeons and Dragons is based around these concepts.
Like, I don't like. I mean, I just do the small things.
And then
like,
there's just the Queen of Pain who's just fucking
She's a bitch.
no one knows what the fuck she's about.
Yeah. So, I don't like turn a basilisk into some goody good fish. Oh god, those things are creepy, man. Can't change that.
What if your
fish.
basilisk turns them into candy?
Oh, I've done that. It was so
And then
funny.
there's no candy to flesh spell.
Yep. Curse you. That one
It's
player
just
turns
Majin
into
Buu.
black licorice. I hate this. I'm black licorice.
Should I make you chocolate?
So, I understand, like, because, I'm going to probably meet people who are going to be like that. Like, oh, no, do. I'm like, they're babies, though. Their parents didn't
Yeah,
technically raise-
it's-
They still has no brain.
Like,
That's all philosophy, and it's up to you. I mean, I kind of
Yeah.
side with Spoonie on this. That it's like, yeah, it sucks, but like, it's kind of like his philosophy on it was like the best way to avoid those situations is just to not put the players into them, or try your best not to put the PCs into those type of dilemmas. Because I mean, at least don't have them killing babies. You know, just the
Exactly.
women and the children get away. They just do. You know, like
Just the men, they can just die. Just let at least,
you know, the cripples escape. You know, whatever.
the
It's
old. And maybe that paladin doesn't turn evil. Oh my god, I love that conversation you have with the whole paladin thing. Like, oh, I turned the paladin evil.
so
What if look what
edgy.
I did?
oh, you're so edgy and cool.
That's so easy. Like a friend of mine tricked a paladin, a good allied paladin, and there's a warlock, and he tricked the paladin in killing Knights of the Legion. He didn't. And the warlock's like, should I tell him? Oh yeah. He's like, he puts his arm around him, saying, those people were fighting. Oh yeah, they were such awful people. Yeah, those were knights from the Legion. What? We kill about 1,000 of those. That's the funny part. The guy rage quit that day because he got so mad because no one told him they were knights of the Legion.
Yeah, it's always kind of difficult. The other thing too is I try to make player interactions with each other not too much role based, because I don't feel like players should be trying to actively work against one another. Um, Sometimes I can see it, like if you're playing more of like a paranoia campaign, or if like I've played a bard before in like a Ravenloft style campaign, and we had a paladin in our group, and basically we discovered a sword, and I was able to lure it that it was like one of the most potent weapons against this vampire that we were hunting. And because I knew that the vampire was very strong, I basically concealed that information from the paladin. You know, because like if the paladin knows that this thing's, you know, the ultimate weapon against this thing, he's just going to go after him and try and kill him. And I didn't feel like we were ready for that. So that's a concept where I feel like sometimes you have to roll against the players. Like he made me roll a bluff versus the sense motive, and you know that's that. But for the most part, you should try to keep open information between players because you're trying to work towards a certain goal. That's another reason why I'm not too keen on evil campaigns, especially mixing evil with good characters. I feel like if you do an evil campaign, that's one thing, but mixing evil with
This
good
is a
characters
mixture
usually
now. Love
doesn't
it.
work out too well.
This is a mixture. We have a chaotic good sorcerer. We have a two pure evil, bloodbound best friends, Centaur, Elf. Ah, they're just evil to the right down bone. They will mess with you. They'll do horrible pranks on everyone. The Elven Ranger has a chaotic good sister. It's a mixture. And we have like two neutral barbarians that keep people from killing each other. But it's a mixture.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, our group, we've known each other for a long time, so we kind of have character clicks a little bit here and there to make the game a little bit more interesting. My group, like, that's just everyone plays differently. This is how we kind of play.
Right. You know, and I try not to get in the way of people's playing and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So one of the big things, have you been thinking of any set pieces yourself that you might be putting these PCs up against? Without, I don't know if you want to reveal too much. Like, I don't know if your boyfriend is in the group or whatever.
Oh yeah, no one's watching the stream.
Right.
So I honestly don't care what I'm gonna reveal, and I really don't ever think no one in my group watches you.
No, it's not. It had nothing to do with that. But I mean, if your boyfriend was part of the group, you know, and you don't want to reveal much.
Oh, he doesn't live
there.
with me.
Yeah.
He doesn't live with me. He's busy with his computer school and all that, getting his license. But continuing. I was really hoping and putting I really want to make it unique, something a little bit more different. Because I love uniqueness. Because I'm that person, that the DM's gonna be all like, oh, choose whatever. Don't be too, complicated. And I'm that person that says, oh yeah, here's a very complicated race, but I like it. But you said I could play it. And then that makes the DM do work. But I'm that person that likes to be, a little unique, get creative. I like the whole light. That was really interesting. I like that.
Well, because I mentioned in other videos, the idea of theming is very big to me, and I feel like that's where most dungeons really fall flat on their face.
Mm-hmm.
Is creating a theme for a dungeon, even the most simple ones. Like you mentioned the elemental temples, and I kind of like chuckled because that's such a very like I want to say cliche thing, but at the same time, it's fine. You can still do an
Yeah.
elemental temple and still have a lot of fun with it, and there's a
I
reason
just
why
haven't
it's
thought of any good better names. I
yeah.
was like, I can't think of names, so I'm just gonna call it Elemental Tempos. Woo!
And that's fine. Sometimes like these are tried and true things. There's a reason why they're cliche. It's because they
Like
work.
for the fire one, they had to fix these elevators, and they all went to these different locations. When they fixed one, they had to, they had to go all over this volcano, and they had fun with that.
But
So,
okay, so have you thought about what you're gonna put in this medallion room? That would be
um,
probably the biggest thing.
the biggest thing I was probably thinking, I can't think of a monster name per se, 'cause I'm horrible with monster names, but I can think of what it looks like. Like, I was thinking of, some type of creature, like, I can't think of the name, I can't really, like, a shadow in a way, I'm not sure, like, I'm probably, I don't want to be, like, too cliche, like, well, I'm gonna put a little lich, or some lich, go lich, protect it. No, I usually make up the big bosses, like, I'll draw them out, because I'm an artist, I've been drawing for many years, so I draw them out, and I think, like, okay, give them, act like my own personal stats, weaknesses, all that, because I like to make the bosses different than having like the normal monsters that they normally face
Okay.
to make it more of an better experience. I'm probably thinking of putting some sort of a big shadow-like creature.
So
'Cause,
something like a modified shadow.
yeah, but it has like in a way of a Chester cat
A Chester cat. Okay.
feel to him. He has that
Wait,
twisted smile.
Chester cat or Chester,
Chester.
cat?
So Alice in Wonderland.
Chester, yeah, Chester cat
Yeah,
or Cheshire.
yeah.
Yeah, Chester
With
cat.
that-
Chester cat is Chester cheetah.
Yeah, oh, sorry. With
I mean, if you want to get dangerously cheesy on your PCs, I guess that's the way to do it. But
with and have that type of personality of that mysterious, smart, very you don't know you don't really know what his next move will be type of
yeah,
deal.
motive. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind, and this is really for the stream as well, if you're kind of new to DMing, try to stay away from, I would say, like caster monsters, in a way, or skill type monsters, just because it can be hard to figure out the most efficient way to fight with them. Because I always think of it like, I tend to err with Spoony, like sometimes they will tell you how a monster fights in a stat block, but sometimes it just doesn't make sense how it says they would fight. So like at some point you got to look at like that lich with 23 intelligence and go like, this guy would pretty much know exactly how to fight most situations, especially since he's presumably a powerful wizard, strong enough to get a phylactery and turn himself into a lich.
Oh yeah.
Because of that, playing casters can be kind of difficult, especially if they're higher level. So really, the idea to go for what would you call it? More power-based things, like things that basically run up, attack, or they maybe have like a little trick to them, like maybe they sneak up on the party. But things where they have 20, 30 spells on them can be really difficult to play, especially if you're not familiar with all the spell book. I don't know. Do you think that's a good analysis, Swiftness?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, it's also hard for the DM,
Yeah.
or I don't know if that's what you were saying, but
It can be difficult. Yeah, saying it can be difficult for the DM to know how to play these characters to a strong challenge for the party.
Yeah.
Because if you don't play them in such a strong manner, a level 12 caster who's fucking brutal if you play him correctly, he easily just gets run up to and chopped to pieces, by the
Yeah.
barbarian with the 12-foot buster sword that he's dual wielding because he has monkey grip.
God dang it. Yeah, I hate monkey grips. Curse you! Like, usually that's why I create my monsters. Usually sometimes if, if one monster is just not good enough, I need to step up the game and throw something new at them to actually get them thinking.
I really do like throwing multiple monsters at the party at a given time, just in general.
Hey, Will, I have a question.
Okay,
Um, this isn't to do with D&D, sorry, but in
that's fine.
Morrowind, if you like, let's say, put stuff somewhere in like a dungeon and you leave and you come back, does it disappear?
After a time,
God
I
damn
think it's like
it!
2 days, 3 days.
Oh, okay, this should still be there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I put a bunch of stuff down because I had all my strength drained and I couldn't carry it. And I went in, it took me a little while to figure out how to get my strength, like where a temple shrine was, and then I came back and it was gone. And I'm like, what the hell? So maybe I'm just, I don't know.
Well, if you dropped something that was super duper important, you could always console it in.
No, it
Usually,
was
though,
just
it's
a
not
bunch of
that big.
expensive, like really expensive weapons and armor and stuff.
Well, if you can't find them, you could just give yourself like 2,000 gold or whatever.
See,
Yeah,
I kind
that's
of
the
want to.
Oh,
benefit
there
of
they
the.
are. Whew.
I was gonna say that's the
Whew.
benefit of the PC version when it comes to Elder Scrolls. You know, if something gets
I
fucked up,
really,
you just fix
I
it.
really want to thank you, Turo, for really helping me. Because
No,
I'm very
that's
shy, so I got nervous. Like, oh my god, being a streamer. Oh no.
no, it's fine. This is part of the reason why I'm on here, and like I do this a lot. Like my other friend that plays in Foneros, Dump Truck Man. I he kind of stopped now because I guess their campaign is in what I assume is going to be permanent hiatus. But I used to help him a lot with his story designing and everything. Um, it's just the way it is, you know. Sometimes you need to bounce ideas off of people or figure out what you want to do with a certain encounter, and that's part of what I wanted to do here. One of the other I keep talking about these show concepts, and I never really do them. Like I kind of need to get on it. Maybe I'll do like one every week or something. But one of the other show concepts was I was going to do something called the anatomy of a dungeon, where it's basically I'll take a dungeon that the PCs have already gone through, either mine or somebody else's, and then the creator of the dungeon, if it's me or the other person, will kind of go through their thought process, why they put their monsters in a certain place. And I figured that would help a lot of people as well.
Mhm.
I try to talk about it a lot when I'm actually creating the dungeon, but obviously there's a big difference between uh, conceptualization of a dungeon and implementation, like what actually happens when the
Yeah.
PCs run at it. You know, I think that's something that a lot of DMs forget is PCs are unpredictable, and
Oh
sometimes
yes.
the dice even more so. Like maybe you
Mhm.
expect the PCs to find something based on a roll,
Like
and they just
there
roll
is
terrible.
a D&D of my friends up in Colorado, I think. I don't know, but the DM, they just kept on rolling these 20s, and they had a technical guy. So he rolled a 20, and he's like, well, what's the potion? He's like, I don't know, you weren't supposed to find out. And I was like, so he had to made it up right there in the spot. He admitted it to it, because he's like, I don't know, you guys weren't supposed to find out. I didn't think you guys be rolling such high numbers today. So, I can see where that happens. And I'm actually quite proud of myself, and Tommy, he's extremely proud of me for just taking the DM role like that, and I have no experience in playing D&D for such a long time. I'm quick on my toes, he says. He's he really likes to test DMs. He'll DM the DM. He likes to do it because he's evil. He is pure evil. So
He likes to be judgmental.
not judgmental, but more like he likes to make his
Oh,
PC.
he's judging you. If you've
Yeah.
ever seen me in somebody else's D&D stream, and Durable will throw this down if he was actually paying attention, I do it jokingly, but I rip into DMs like crazy. And you heard me that one time with the DM that
The
was
money.
yeah, I'm gonna make the paladin fall, and he's just fucked. You know,
Well, then you just made an
full
evil
screen,
paladin. Oh well.
full screen. It's like I'm gonna make the paladin fall. I'm so edgy. I got more edges than a 20-sided die.
Exactly.
It's like,
Like,
isn't that
okay,
so
you made the
cool?
paladin.
Hey, your 6th level paladin, he's fucking useless now. He's worse than a fighter. He just gets 6 BAB and some saves. Woo, yeah. I'm the best. I'm so cool.
Yeah.
By the way, fuck you. Your character concept, you thought you had a cool concept? You wanted to go, nope, fuck you. I'm just going to change it.
Yeah, it's so
It's
lame when a DM
stupid
does
because
something like that.
that
Hey,
can also
Cordubin.
screw over the DM as well. Okay, you made the paladin evil. Doesn't mean you killed him. So technically, he can just regain once more, go find a new god.
That's not going to happen.
Well,
It's not going to happen.
not gonna happen.
If the DM went to such great lengths to force you to fall, there's no way he's going to like
Oh,
let you go back. It's just not
yeah.
gonna happen.
There was a DM, and I forgot what this race was called. It's pretty much like human body scorpion.
Manticores?
Just I don't know what it's called, but this guy was playing that, and he made the DM so mad because, like, he accidentally like spilt a drink by accident. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." He cleaned it up, and he said, and he apparently the DM just kept on going. He didn't bother to help everyone. They forgave him, but I'm not the DM, not the DM though. And he pretty much made him trip and stung himself in the head. I looked at the picture of the creature and I'm like, that is physically impossible. And he's like, well, it wasn't the poison.
He
It
broke.
was how hard the stinger stabbed in my head. I'm like,
Yeah, it's I don't know.
and like the
DMs.
human body has a hard shell. I'm like, how are you able to crack that? I
Just,
was like, oh, it's physically impossible. A scorpion, it can't even hit its own. It can't. You can't. Even, a scorpion literally can't hit his own self in the head.
he
I mean,
broke his
come on.
back too. He tripped so hard that he broke his back.
I'm like,
And
would you trip on a ladybug? He says, no, apparently I tripped on a big twig. I'm like, oh my god. So he pretty much walked out on that game because he wasn't going to deal with that DM. And I would have probably not done the same, but would have been like, no. I would have probably argued a little bit with the DM.
So wait, he did that because the guy spilled a drink by accident?
Yeah, he spilled the drink on a character sheet, I think, and the person forgave him. He's
I'm
like, oh,
always
it's okay.
I'm always really it's tough to say. I'm always really skeptical about these type of things just because you don't know, like unless you were there, it's
Yeah,
kind of
unless
hard to tell. Like maybe the guy was an asshole the whole time or whatever, or
yeah,
the group itself just didn't really like his play style or something. Like some people are
yeah.
really assholes when it comes to confrontation. Like
Mm-hmm.
they won't just admit, like they won't be like, "Hey, like we need you to kind of straighten up. We need you to change these things. This is how we want to play." Instead, they'll just like basically act like an asshole to them or force them to quit type of thing. I've seriously known these people, and it's really discouraging to me. I'm like, so in other words, you guys want to force this person to leave rather than just confronting the situation and being an adult about it. And being
Yeah.
and really level with them too. Like this goes for the watchers on the stream too. If you have a problem player, if it continues to be a problem after you talk to them, by all means, like just but level with them. Be like, hey, we need you to change these things. And if it's not working out, just be like, listen, like you want to play the game in a way that we're not comfortable with, and we've tried to work it out before, so like we can't have you playing with us. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And
Like, and yeah, they might be pissed. Some feelings might get hurt, but in the end, everyone will get through it. The group will survive. The police are on the way.
the police are on the way. Yeah. Like they're like, I can admit, like in some games, there's people you can't stand for that whole day, but you're not gonna do it. Like I'm nice. I'm too nice to be mean to people, but I just kind of want to punch some people in the face because it's like you're not paying. Like the one thing that really aggravates me is when someone does not pay attention, and the whole party has to tell them what just happened, and everyone else understands except for that one guy. I'm like, oh my god, just listen, stop playing on your laptop.
By the way, everybody inside of chat, thanks for coming in on this Friday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying what you're hearing. We're with Dinosaur trying to work around like a
Yeah.
dungeon that she's creating and just talking shop about it. I put a link inside of the chat. That is actually my new Facebook fan page thing that I put up. Originally, I had a group page on Facebook, but then I realized that I was retarded because not everybody can freely enter groups. So I made a fan page instead. If you guys are interested, I'm basically just going to put up when I'm streaming on that page for now, but I'm open to ideas with it. So if you're so inclined, you can go there. As far as my streaming, I tend to stream from 12 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I usually do it in a 4-hour block. So I might go, 1 to 5 or 2 to 6, somewhere in there. Any time that I stream after that will be off the clock, but you are pretty much guaranteed those hours. I try to post ahead of time if we're going to be playing a session outside of that time, and I do play sessions outside of that time. Usually, as the Pathfinder that I'm playing in, we tend to play later at night. But if you're so inclined, you can follow that. So something that I was thinking too, maybe you want to make the this final room. You could make it a compound encounter instead, or as well. Like maybe you make a puzzle that leads into the boss fight, or you make a boss fight that is
Yes.
defeated by the puzzle, or that can become easier by completing a puzzle, things of that nature.
And it'll be good because it has such a big group. So I was probably like a good idea. Like I like the puzzle idea, but how about? Because we have 10 people in this group, literally just 10 people, and they
Yep.
always frequently come and they join. So maybe, you know, what a good idea. Like maybe how like you have those guards, the little guys that protect the big boss. Like how good like I'm behind 7,000 skeletons. Your little icon
Yeah.
I get going on there. See, like big boss behind 7,000 skeletons type of deal going on here, but keep it because I'm good at multitasking. I've done like 10 scenes separated. And I give everyone a turn saying, all right, well, that's your freezing point of time. Second person, go. I can do that
Yeah.
at a fast pace and they'll be ready and they'll be done. So I was thinking, not gonna fight the boss, but they're dealing with all these little skeletons, and then you got the two smart people or the three trying to figure out the puzzle to reveal where this boss is.
Okay, so maybe you make it actually. So you almost make it a like a monster generator that you have to shut off in a way.
Yeah.
So
Or
like
maybe
like you solve a puzzle while monsters are coming out, and then that reveals whatever is causing it.
Yeah,
That's an
they release
interesting idea.
like a summon, like probably another monster, like the big boss. Like, I'll kill all the little ones after the light or whatever's been turned off. Like the light's been revealed and all those summoned monsters are dead,
I could
and you see the
definitely
big,
see potential with that. I think
you
that
see
that's
the big
something.
boss.
I think
Yeah.
that that's something that you could pursue easily. It's very Gauntlet-esque, if you will.
Mhm.
I just picked up. I just picked a plant, and
If you
they
picked it up, drop it. Drop it. It's poison ivy. Drop it.
no, like there's like a plant inside the city, and I collected from it like you usually do for plants for alchemy. And
Which
one of the
poison
guards
ivy?
ran over, and they're like, "You're under
Was it on the
arrest."
temple grounds? That might be the issue, if it was.
I don't know, it was just a wickweed in one of
You
the
picked our
buildings.
sacred flower. The
I don't know.
paladins will curse you. I swear.
It wasn't the one on the temple ground. I took all those, the ones on the temple ground. Nobody said anything about that.
If they're in a
Oh,
house, it's
God.
usually not a good idea to pick them.
Yeah, it was in one of the. It was in the middle display of this one of those big
That
buildings.
flower was given by my great grandmother, which was also
This
a
is
witch.
weird.
You're cursed.
Stop, criminal scum.
I
And I
understand.
only had to pay 1 gold, and then he left me alone. So it's like, oh, okay, well.
Okay.
Here you go.
You should have said you were the Thane.
Go
And just
fuck
walked
off,
off.
Ordinator.
Badass.
No, this is Morrowind. You don't have Thane status in Morrowind.
I know. I've heard of Thor. I've never played it though. Never played it.
It hasn't aged well as a game just because of the new stuff, but in my opinion, it's the best story out of any of the newer Elder Scrolls games by far.
Yeah.
And it's still
I'm
pretty
actually
fun.
Oh yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. Like, did you watch the Diablo 3 opening of like their new campaign they're doing?
I heard it was really cool looking, but
It is.
I've also heard that it might be better than the actual game, and
That's
I'm
that
inclined
It
to believe
is because it's about like. Do you know the story about it?
No.
It's good. Oh, I don't know names, but pretty much there's a powerful good angel, and he was all about destroy all the evil. We shall
Oh,
make
it's
honor.
gonna be a fallen version of the one guy that tries to get in your way.
Valor, I'm assuming. That's exactly
Yeah,
what I
like
said they were gonna make way
and
back
one day he
when the game first
disappeared.
came
They
out.
send out all of his students, all the angels he trained, and they'd all disappeared. Then one day they found like this dark evil matter, and they were gonna like stow it away so no people can grab it. Then he's like, "Oh, Marowyn, you're back. Are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, crap. He's evil now. Dang." He takes out these giant sickles and starts slaughtering these people. It's like, ah, taking souls, taking names. It's so good. Because like what the creator said, Marwyn
Okay.
believed when he discovered the dark side, he believed that if he had dark power, he
So
could
it's that one
destroy the whole war and everything else. Pretty much like Skywalker, but without the lava.
Oh, there will be lava. It's not a
There will be.
Diablo game without lava.
That's true.
I'm not
Every
sure about
Diablo
this
game has
one because
lava.
this is all about the angels and the sky. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I can see there's lava. Always.
The biggest flaw with Diablo 2 was there was no butcher.
Mm-hmm. Good with the hiccup, sorry.
Diablo 2? Or you mean 3? No, 3 had a butcher.
2 didn't
The
have it.
economy in Diablo 3 is so broken. It's broken.
Well,
It's
what do you
like you can
expect?
get
It's the real life AH, so it's...
yeah. Like my father, he plays it like old father, all by himself. He's occupied. He's got like billion. Like I don't even know. This is not even a number. A zillion. Like just so much gold. Like he had a friend that's been with him since the first day he got played the game. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you 100 billion gold, and he still has like so much gold. He doesn't even care. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll just give you 100 billion gold. Psh, I got so much of it. I'm pretty much giving it all away.
That's
for
because
free.
there's no real
It's
sink
not
for
worth
gold now, is the problem.
Yeah. So the barbarian was like, oh, thank you, blah 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 blah. He was very help. Because thank you, because But yeah, I really like the idea. I really thank you for you helping me. I'm really thank you for like inviting me to the Skype call.
That's cool. Yeah, I figured it would
Um,
be easier because
yeah.
it sounded like you had a lot to think about or whatever, so it's a lot easier than just typing everything out.
You told me not to put a whole wall. I'm like, damn
Yeah.
it. Ah, crap.
Well, that's the thing is because people think that they put like a whole wall of text, and it's just you can't. You aren't gonna like be able to process all that and reply to it, you know.
Yeah. And plus the delay. It's kind of like, why?
It's like, here, read this book. Now tell me what you think.
You tell me what you think, word for word. you have 5 seconds. Go. I would really love to join your campaigns and stuff, but I have to at least because my situation I told you about yesterday.
I understand. It's fine.
Like the game, I like 2 games. The one I'm DMing and one I'm playing in. I kind of don't like the one I'm playing in because it's starting to lead into a big thing that's gonna take forever.
Well, to be fair, like, hey, Swiftness, what are you
Farnos.
in right now? Yeah, what are you in Foneros? Why don't you do a rundown of all of the subplots that are happening to you right now that you can remember?
Well, we've been trying to get to this continent for about 1.5 years real time, so.
Oh dear God.
What other subplots do we have here that have developed?
I don't know. There's a god and probably gonna kill us.
Everyone loves a god that hates
So taking-
everyone.
It's taking too long to deliver his damn message.
Yeah. Like in this game,
He's like, here, deliver this to there. And we're like, okay. But, it's being put on you as a spell and something bad will happen if you don't follow through. Okay. And then it's been like forever because we keep getting sidetracked. So I'm just like, we're gonna die.
yeah. Like it's the same situation in this one. It's kind of like this group had curses. And I wasn't cursed. I didn't catch the STD. I joined in without a curse because I got smart. And it started out with us because we had to go through all these cities. We went through one city, then that got destroyed by all these fireballs. Wasn't us. Then we came into a city. They're like, oh, you should talk to the Pope in this city. Go catch our knight as well. By the way, he's the Pope's student. I'm like, okay. I'm that good chaotic good elf that has great sarcasm, trust me. And we go there. We finally talk to the Pope after an epic battle of an evil paladin that got slaughtered by our shifter barbarian. Oh god, it was so fun. And we were in a city that was full of paladins, big religion. So they're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do with all this loot and body? Because they wanted all that loot, but they had to get rid of the body.
Yep.
So then the Pope said he looked at the curses and he was screaming and he wrote something down, and apparently the only way to get rid of this curse was to kill the Prince of Demons, which was in the 9th level of hell, and we're only level 5s.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Exactly. So as I said, it's kind of leading to an adventure that I'm refusing to go through. Because I've heard stories about the levels of hell. I have the book.
Yeah,
I read it. I'm like,
there's
no, I can't.
it would take a very, very particular group to be able to um, go into hell and survive. A lot of DMs kind of like a lot of DMs play the idea out, but they play it in such a way that the characters can survive. If you actually played a account a if you actually played it out the way it says in the books how you would go into hell and fight everything going through it, you'd be dead. There's
Yeah.
just so much danger in
And
there.
I was like, okay, so you're saying the only way to get rid of this is to kill the Prince of Demons in the 9 level of hell, which I've been through it, barely, and I died. I'm not doing that. I said, as this event is gonna open into a big. I even told the DMs. I said,
Bad
we
flag.
can't do that with the amount of XP you're giving us and the weapons we have. They're gonna die. I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the. I'm gonna outlive all these assholes, pretty much. And I said, you're gonna have to kind of maybe change the game a little bit. I set that off to the side because we're not able to get the hell because he doesn't give like, oh well, he doesn't prepare us. He pretty much gives us whatever we kill is what experience you get. Like, oh
I figure he's saying this as like kind of a long-term goal, but at the same time like that's a goal that you're throwing on the PCs really early.
exactly. And I told him, I just said,
The
we
funny
can't
the
do that.
the funny part is like Swiftness mentions that they've been trying to get to this place for a year and a half, and but I've told them at multiple times. I'm like, pretty much, with the exception of this message that they have to deliver, but they're not even sure like how they're supposed to deliver it exactly. They they can do whatever they want. Like I told them, I'm like, you can do whatever you want. You just got to understand that there's going to be consequences, but other opportunities that open as a result of it. And like this place they've been trying to get to for so long, they didn't have to get there. It's just what they wanted to pursue. Fonaros is much more of a sandbox type of campaign than Armageddon is, for example. Like I kind of give them the option to do as they will, but I give them plot hooks, and they've been trying to jump onto them as they emerge.
Yeah, and I kind of really don't want to stay in this campaign too long because the DM is a little dull. he just gets dull. He's like, and you can't tell if he's joking. He's like, oh, you see this level 100 paladin? We're like, really? He's like, oh no, I'm joking. I'm like, oh god. I have mastered his sarcasm greatly.
100.
Yeah.
All right. It has been about an hour and a half since I started streaming. We're gonna take a quick, maybe 10-minute break.
All right.
I'm gonna let the
Well,
music.
I'm gonna head out because I got a boyfriend who needs me.
Okay. Just keep those things in mind. If you have any more
Yeah.
questions, you
You
head
know,
back to stream and
yeah,
work it
I
out.
would love to talk to you. I'm very open. If you ever want friends, I mean, I'm a really nice person. So I'll play probably camping with you one day. That'd be really fun. I really want to see how you DM.
And then maybe another time or whatever, I'll also show you what we can figure out with map tools if you need to start that out.
Oh yeah, you're a really awesome person. I really want to thank you for everything.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, don't be afraid to type a chat, send a text. I'm very open. I don't have no time. I don't live. I have no life. Who has a life anymore these
The
days?
life of the unemployed,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am
All
going
right.
to take a short break, guys. It'll be about 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you stick around past it. And I'll be fielding questions. If you guys just want to chat or whatever, feel free to. So we will be back in 10.
All right. Thank you. You're amazing. You helped me so much. All right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.